And at the time, like, I didn't have any money. I didn't have any deals going. And I thought, what am I going to do? I think I had a bill coming up. I was like, I got to get a job. So I went to, I don't know if it's Office Max or Office Depot one. They hired me. I worked there. I seriously think it was 6 days. I didn't even know how to work the cash register yet. Like, they were still training me. I had clients coming in all of a sudden. Like, after like 3 days, my business started picking up. People wanted to show houses. They wanted to do this. On like the third or fourth day, I took a lunch break and went outside and was signing a contract on the hood of my car.
All right, welcome to today's episode. Today I've got, I call her one of my personal goats. I have the Tayler Murphy in studio today. Tayler, what is going on?
I'm so excited.
No, for real. Thank you for being here today. As we mentioned before, like, you were one of the targets I have for this podcast just because you have been a believer in me since before I was. Like, we go back. But before we get into that, Tayler, before I start like just throwing flowers at you, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm a full-time realtor, and I've been doing that 8 years, I think. I think it'll be 9 years in January. I am married. I pretty much live, eat, and sleep real estate, and here recently, fit model prep. Other than that, I don't have too much going on.
Okay, cool. And you told the folks where you're from, right? Well, not where you're from, where you live. Okay, I share what you want to share.
No, that's fine. Where I'm from, I live in Gadsden, and I'm from a very small town called Hoax Bluff.
Okay, cool. Tayler, we're gonna get right into it. Like I said, I got a lot of flowers to give you, but we're gonna build this, and then I'll douse you with those. But tell me, like, how'd you get into real estate?
Oh, I really don't know how it came about, but I was a senior in high school, and college wasn't for me, and I knew that. I knew that I could barely get to senior year. Like, it was all I could do. I knew my grandmother had sold real estate for like a very short amount of time, and I can remember her showing houses and telling me about it and stuff like that, and that just stuck in my brain, I think. Coming straight out of school, I knew what I wanted to do. So I graduated, and a few months later, I had my license.
Nice. Okay. That part you said about knowing what you wanted to do out of school, that resonated with me because your boy had zero idea. Like, for real. Like, was into computers and stuff like that. So, like, I was listening to a lot of other people want it for me. So I went that track. And as you know, like, went to college, started a career in, like, computers and technology.
Yeah, and I think a lot.
No one believes that, though. No one believes that.
I think a lot of people are only because when you're so young, when you're 17 and 18, you don't have a clue who you are as a person. How do you know what you're going to do for the rest of your life?
True.
I don't think they should put it on people that young.
No, like, for real.
I mean, I did, and I don't know. I mean, I just stuck with it because I didn't make any money like the first year or two at all. I don't think any, but just sticking with it. And it turned out.
Okay. So we are going there because this is really what I wanted. So, like, since you said that, we're gonna segue into it. Tayler, like, come on now. You said you weren't making any money, but you kept going. Like, tell me what kept you going.
I really don't know. I mean, it's kind of corny to say that my passion for real estate, but it's really true. Like, I love what I do, and I just kept thinking. Even one point, this is such a funny story. Even one point I was like 2 years in, I think, maybe a year. And at the time, like, I didn't have any money. I didn't have any deals going. And I thought, what am I going to do? I think I had a bill coming up. I was like, I got to get a job. So I went to, I don't know if it's Office Max or Office Depot one. And I was like, I need a job. They hired me. I worked there. I seriously think it was 6 days. Maybe 6 days. And I didn't even know how to work the cash register yet. Like, they were still training me. I had clients coming in all of a sudden. Like, after like 3 days, my business started picking up. People wanted to show houses. They wanted to do this. On like the third or fourth day, I took a lunch break and went outside and was signing a contract on the hood of my car. Once I got that property under contract, I no called, no showed. I never went back to that Office Depot ever again. I'm sorry. It was like 6 days.
You apologize now.
Yeah. That was
They've
like
been
so
looking for
many
you for
years
how many
ago.
years?
I was so down bad. You know, I was like, I got to have some money. So I just walked in. They gave me a job, thank goodness. And that even wasn't a big paycheck. But to see how far I've come since that moment, though, I would say that I have never looked back. Like, it really gave me a push, like, hey, you're going to have to do this, you know, to be able to live. So I did. And that was actually Anna and JD. They are my super close friends now. And, I mean, we talk every day, both of them. They will tell you that, too. They're like, you remember that time we were signing the contract on the hood of your car? I was like, yeah, don't talk about it. I've sold them like 3 or 4 properties since then.
Okay, that's what's up. So thinking about your time at like Office Max or Office Depot, whatever it called, like you knew when you went there, like this isn't for me. This is just like to help me make ends meet for a temporary amount of time.
Absolutely.
So one of the things I like to talk about on this podcast is that entrepreneurial spirit. And I didn't know you had worked at Office Max before. Like, I'm serious. When I met you, like, I thought you were just like, that you came out the womb selling real estate.
I swear.
But you've had that entrepreneurial spirit. I can't even say it, and that's what this podcast is about. Yeah. What drives that? Is that, you think that's something innate in you, or do you think was it something that happened that may have changed you?
Yeah, I think I think it was definitely my childhood in general, like as a whole. As you know, we've kind of talked about before, middle child syndrome. I swear that's a thing.
Okay.
And I live by that. It just kind of pushes you. I think growing up all over the place, not being real steady or whatever, just always figuring stuff out on my own too. And I'm the only girl, and I'm the middle child. I mean, you know, it's just nothing wrong with it, but it definitely stemmed from my childhood and just figuring stuff out as I went.
Yeah, okay.
I think it stems from that.
And this is crazy. You're middle child, only girl. I'm middle child, only. That's crazy.
I know.
Gosh, so we were meant to click.
I think so.
Nah, Tayler, I got to share this story, man. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I had shared with you, like, I'm really thinking about doing this video thing. And you told me, you were like, Ronnie, you should do a number one. Well, you weren't that nice. Let's be real, but I can't say all the words you used on this podcast. You weren't that nice, but you were very direct, and that's one of the things that just like that drew me to you, because I could tell you cared, and I could tell you saw something. But one of the things you were teaching me about that I didn't really appreciate till now that I kind of stepped out into this is like, it's not consistent. It's not, well, you can make it that, but at first, like, you got to get used to having a whole bunch of cash one day.
Feast or famine.
Feast or famine, yes. So, like, tell me in your own way, like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, you just get used to it over the years, I think. And each year gets easier. But I was just talking to one of my coworkers today, you know, what do you got going on? And I'm like, I'm a little bit slower. He's like, what, you know, and I'm like, you gotta, at some point you gotta get used to it, because you know that for 3 or 4 months you're not gonna have a paycheck, and then on that 4th or 5th month you're gonna have a huge paycheck. It's gonna backtrack, and it's gonna get you another 4 months that you're not gonna have another paycheck. So I think it's learning the curve and staying ahead of it.
Okay.
Once you're like, hey, I'm not going to let this happen to me again, because it happened to me the first, second time, not the third. Like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to have enough in there. I'm going to pay myself a little salary, and then I'm going to go on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Tayler, in your opinion, is entrepreneurship for everyone?
Oh, my God. No. So, my husband, prime example, okay? We are the Tayler Murphys, and we're pretty cool.
Yes, you are.
We're like, you know, we're kind of like fire and water. Like, if you've met one of us, he's the complete opposite of me, and vice versa. I mean, like, polar opposites, and that's why it works. I couldn't love him more if I tried. Dude, not cut out to own his own business. Like, he is an employee, okay? And he knows it, and that's cool. And it is what it is. But he has no desire to, you know, ever be a CEO or open his own business or run his own business. He wants to clock in. He wants to work for someone else. That's just got him. Some people don't want the responsibility. It's a lot that people don't. The mental side, he just don't want it. And he sees what I go through on a daily basis, especially with it, and he's like, not for me. He wants to go clock in. He wants to do his job. He wants to clock out, come home, and not think about it ever again. And that is cool because, when you run your own business, I'm never not thinking about it. And every time I pick up my phone, some's on there. Every time, I look around the house, like, there's my lap. It's just, like, it's always work. You driving to the beach, work. You're on the beach, it's work. He don't deal with that, and he likes it that way.
Okay. And you, that would seem like a nightmare to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. His reality is what I mean. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, especially after, you got to think, I come into, I hate to say owning my own business, but it's true. At 18 years old, essentially, 19, which is nuts. Thinking back, because now I look at my 18, 19-year-old little brother, and I'm like, ooh, that's such a huge thing to do. And like I said, the first couple of years were so rocky, just figuring out yourself, how you want to do it. It's finally clicking now. In my late 20s, like, I'm like, hey, I'm getting this. Like, it just took 8 years. Working for somebody, when you've been working for yourself, I've been my own boss since I was 19 years old. So
that's a bar.
Like, if I had to clock in somewhere and they told me, whatever, do it, I would be like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me ask you this, Tayler. Can you think of a time, like, whether it was a down market or whatever the reason, you were like, you know what, I've made a mistake doing this?
Oh, absolutely. And still, I mean, maybe even once a year now, I mean, something bad will happen. I might lose a couple deals or have a client, might not be extremely satisfied or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm rethinking everything. I think that's part of it. I think everybody does it. I think that's totally normal to have stuff like that happen. But there's been so many times in the last 8 years that I have truly pushed through when I would just... And I mean, there was a time after the Office Depot time that I'm going to have to get another job. Here it goes again. Like, this is my last $5 or whatever it is. And the oddly specific thing about real estate is we typically, if I do have something going on, I'm not going to get paid for at least another 30 to 45 days. So I'm like, cool, I got a buyer. I got a house under contract. Whoa. Because I'm not actually getting paid for like another 30 to 45 days, if that. So if you're hanging on to that paycheck that's coming, it may not ever come either.
Yeah, because as we know, things fall apart.
All the time.
Man.
Yeah, so there's been plenty of times in the 8 years where I've definitely thought I need something more steady that I couldn't keep pushing through.
Okay. But for one reason or the other, you just keep going. Where does that come from, Tayler?
I'm telling you, I don't. And
I feel like I've asked you that 4 times.
It's fine. It's funny because... and I don't know, my little brother's too young to kind of know where he's at with it, but it's like no one else has got it. My mom, she's definitely not going to be running her own business, and my other brother, like it's just weird. I don't know where it come from, and maybe that's why I have it, because I think, it was bound to hit somebody, hit me, so.
Well, Tayler, I'm going to share this with you, and I'm not going to go there on the podcast, but I will say this. In the capacity I've known you, one of the things I know about you is you are fearless, or at least you appear to be fearless. You've gone through a lot. You keep going. And at the time of this recording, what I'm seeing in your business has just been absolutely extraordinary. Can we talk about fear for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
You deal with that?
Absolutely. I just told you I was kind of scared of the elevator a little bit.
That elevator is not impacting your business. I'm talking about like Tayler Murphy, real estate, whatever. Yeah. Do you deal with fear? And if you do, tell me how you deal with it.
I am so shy. It seems so crazy, and everyone I tell says the same thing. I'm not a small talk person. I'm scared of it. I'm scared of small talk. And you know as well as I do in a business like this, networking is everything.
Yes.
I'm a terrible networker. Awful. It's going to events and stuff like that. And it's something within me, and that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of, I don't know, maybe it's embarrassment. I don't know, saying something wrong, saying something I shouldn't say, or I would rather stay to myself. That's what I'm scared of, is putting myself out there. That is the most crucial part
of
my business.
Okay. I should have let you finish.
It's putting yourself out there. So, and that's what I struggle with daily, and I'm trying to get better with that. Not everything's got to be perfect. It's just got to be done. And that was one thing I think that's kept me in a rut for the past 2 or 3 years, is trying to be a perfectionist. Is this going to appeal to everybody? Is this going to make someone talk about me? That's over. Like if you keep worrying about what everybody's going to think, say, or do, or how they're going to portray you, you're never going to get anywhere with anything.
And Taylor, the magic about that is, and if you don't mind sharing, how old are you now?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 next month.
Okay, so like 27 versus 43, and here I am finally starting to scratch the surface of what you're saying. So when I think about what the future that you could have with that, oh my gosh. And then of course, selfishly, it makes me think like, man, why couldn't I have had an ounce of this at 27? Where would I be now? Can't worry about that. My time machine is broken. As being a dad with 2 kids has taught me, like, very humbly, that it is broken. But like that's empowering as a friend of yours to hear that, because I see the reps you're taking on social media. Like, you told me off air, like, this is uncomfortable, but you're doing it anyway, and you don't care. And I salute you for that.
It's hard.
It is, and Taylor, I got to share this too. You've been a motivator for me, because I've been able to share my issues of perfectionism and my concerns about putting myself out there. So I feel like we're growing together.
We have the same struggles, and it's so. I was telling the other Taylor last night. I was like, not to get all mushy, I'm so thankful for Ronnie, because we do. I mean, we're in the rut, man, and I should be practice what I'm preaching, because, I'll tell you, I'm like, you got to do this, Ronnie, you got to do this, and I'm not doing any of it, It's so much easier to tell you, like, hey, this, and this, and then I look at myself, and I'm like, God, everything I told Ronnie, like, I need to do today, what? And it's easier for me, I guess, to pour into other people than it is to pour into myself.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those things. I'll always do that, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But pouring into other people, and then I look back and I'm like, I should probably do that for myself too,
or at least do some of it.
Yeah.
And I feel that because, like, in the role that I'm in, I'm encouraging and motivating people to put themselves out there in a marketing capacity. Yep. So it's just like, here, like this year, I'm like, nah, like, I got to take that medicine too.
Absolutely.
So I'm thankful to have you to kind of hold me accountable. That talk we had yesterday, Taylor, I'm serious. Like, I don't know if you saw my energy, but I was soaking all that in, because I'm like, nah, if Taylor says it, because Taylor's been pouring into me for how many years now?
Yeah, a long time.
You know what
now.
I mean? So, like, if she says it, she means it, because
I do mean it. I get so excited about your success, like, more than anybody else. Like, I do, and I don't know. I'm so happy for you and everything that you're gonna do too.
I appreciate that,
because I do think it takes. I don't know why it takes a long time to grasp everything with running your own business, being an entrepreneur, CEO, doing all this. It's a huge learning curve. And I think no matter what age you figure it out, it's an accomplishment.
True. That is a bar. Yeah. And I think about the story that I put out this morning about, like, how I used to have the mentality of, like, I wonder why folks don't promote themselves more. And now I'm in it. That. You know what I mean? It was humbling, though, and it hit me as I was getting ready, and I don't know why I decided
love that.
Did you really?
Yes,
okay,
all
thank
of
you,
them were
thank
bangers
you.
This morning.
It's hit me. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna put this on my story, because, like, this is real. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I put that out there. I'm glad the 10 people that saw it. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know how many people saw it, but I'm glad I put that out there, because there's some communications in my DMs right now that I think are going to help serve me better. And I think that's helping other people, like, just meet them where they are and relate. So,
absolutely.
Taylor, like, if we can go here, why is it that you're like, or you were apprehensive about putting yourself out there?
I don't know. And it goes back to, I don't know, it goes deep diving into something about caring what people think or maybe being embarrassed. You know, there's two things. Maybe it's something in the middle, but it's definitely like, well, what are people going to say if I put this out? Or, you know, what are they going to think? Or are they going to think, you know, and it just the other day I was going to make a post about how much production I've done this year. You know, whatever it was, 6 million in sales or something. I overthought that for hours. I don't even think I posted it on the same day. I texted my broker, a couple coworkers, like getting their opinion. I'm like, what am I do? Should I even put this? What are people going to think? Are they going to think I don't do enough? Are they going to think I do make too much money? And they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No one's going to think that much into it. I mean, it's just, so I don't know. I think it, maybe a little bit of insecurities.
I know that's mine. I know mine's definitely insecurities.
And you know, women too. You know, every time we take a picture, we're like, "Oh, that's bad. That's wrong." You know, and just putting yourself out there in your image, it's kind of hard to do.
Oh yeah,
really. And if you don't think yourself's perfect, or you're not portraying yourself absolutely perfect, I think it's hard for us as women to put yourself out there. But I'm like, hey, you're going to show them a house and you're not going to look like that. So they're going to see all the flaws if you work with them long enough regardless. So that's kind of what I've been taking in. And I will tell you, what has changed my mindset a little bit is trying to maybe niche down my clients, because I want them to know, and you know, Broker Misty, she's like, you know, maybe let's not post that, or like maybe let's keep that to ourselves, because some things not everybody's gonna like.
Right.
Because I do not appeal to everybody for sure. I mean, that, you know, everybody knows that. But trying to just really embrace being myself with putting myself out there, that's gonna niche down my market quick.
Yeah.
Because if somebody sees one of those videos, or, you know, one of those posts, or anything that I have put out there, you know, seen me on a live or anything like that, they're going to pretty much know a little bit about how I am. And if they already didn't like that, don't call me, because we're going to have a long 40, 60 days, you know,
Yeah.
and we're going to, you know, you might not mesh.
And that's cool though. Like you're not for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's no one out here that's for everybody.
No.
Not a mortal person, at least. So yeah.
No.
I got to share this because you had me thinking about it. You know, it's again same bucket. Been a podcaster for 7 years. Had a podcast called The Tipping Point, and never talked about it. Had its own IG. I was on there. We were dropping clips like crazy. You saw it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
It really is.
From you, like, I really appreciate that.
You're not talking about it, not impressive.
Not impressive at all. And that's what I love about you, Tayler. Like, you will call me out on that. Anyway,
work on that.
Anyway, I'm saving the flowers for later. But no, so I'm thinking about the podcast, and I would take so much time to like figure out which clip we were gonna drop, and I would get something, and I was early in my editing career here, so like I'm talking like 2+ hours trying to edit one 1-minute clip for Instagram, and I remember the clips I got the most excited about, no one watched, and then we had one that I showed you yesterday, almost 3 million views, and when I tell you, like we were at Fuel in Vegas. And we had a break, and I like knew we need to put a clip out. When I tell you, it took me like 20 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, let me just," and I put it out there, and I didn't even think about it.
3 million.
3 million views.
Nuts.
You know what I mean? So like that was a lesson for me in terms of like I wanted to live up to a standard, obviously, but I just don't know if I need to care that much about what I put out there, because most people do not care.
People want authentic stuff.
Yes.
They want to know that, like, hey, she's like me too. You know, I do the same thing. I relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, let me give her a follow, or whatever the case. But yet again, it goes back to those insecurities, wanting everything to be perfect, want everyone to think you got a perfect life, want everyone to think you got a perfect career. You know, we're not.
We're not.
No, and people don't want that. But I don't know where the disconnect is.
Yeah.
And I think everyone struggles with it. Like, let me try to be perfect, but that's not what anyone wants.
And some of it's social media, in a sense. Like people put their highlights on there, and like
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all guilty of it.
I'm guilty. I know I am.
We're not going to get on there and be like, I had a terrible day. Like, my car broke down, like all this, So, of course, that's the only thing anyone ever posts is your highlight reel.
Right. So if you're consuming that, then it's like, oh, well, I got to be perfect like X. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. We're going to pivot a little bit, Tayler. Okay. Let's talk about Tayler Murphy, the bodybuilder.
That is so weird to hear. Like, even still.
But you can claim that, though. Like, you earned that. You got trophies.
Absolutely.
Number one, congratulations.
Thank you.
Number 2, tell us about it.
Oh, my God. I mean, the most life-changing experience, truly. If you would have told me 6 months ago I would have been a bodybuilder, I would have been like, you're lying. That's how fast, like, I just woke up. I had a comment from my buddy Jason. He actually did one of the shows with me. It was awesome. He just made a nonchalant comment one day, and he goes, hey, you should look into that. He was like, your physique looks like you should do that. So I'm like, that's crazy. I start looking into it, and I'm like, this looks interesting. So let me just try, see what bam. I mean, it all happened so quick. And then in 6 months, I went from someone who didn't know what an RDL was in the gym to a literal bodybuilder.
Just for people like me that have no idea. RDL?
Stop.
Rear deadlift?
It could be that, I guess.
Romanian deadlift. Mm-hmm. That's with the one leg, other leg on the bench. That's Bulgarian split squat.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can
How about you answer this question?
Barbell or dumbbells, either one. It's a glute exercise. So, man, you're probably not going to know much about it. My husband hates them. Okay. He despises it. He doesn't want to do them.
Gotcha. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
They're rough on the back.
Okay.
So it's just been so life-changing. And if I would have known how much it was going to change my life, I would have done it 6 years ago. It's been one of the best things to ever happen to me. Keep in mind, everyone in my circle, maybe even my husband and smidge, thought I was nuts. Thought I was absolutely crazy. Psychopath of sorts. My grandmothers, whoa, not rocking with it, okay? Something about being in a bikini on a stage, they were like, what is she doing? Has she lost her mom? It's so much more than that. It's so much more than the stage, the spray tan, the trophy. That's kind of, a little bit of the fun part, which is very nerve-wracking. So you would think, how is that fun? It's fun, especially when you've got other athletes there that other athletes to take the day on with, converse with, make connections with. I know that's weird me saying that. But it wasn't like when I'm there and I'm competing there, it's not like I'm Tayler Murphy realtor. It's like I'm Tayler Murphy fit model. So it's like I can take my real estate hat off and like it's my hobby and I can breathe. And it's something that I don't feel like I have to tell everyone that I'm in real estate. But you know what? The conversation goes there. Because when you start it, I'm a realtor. So anyways, it has been the best experience ever. It's taught me so much about myself and everyone else around me. It's taught me a lot about my business. It has been, a whirlwind, really.
Cool. Well, I got a chance to see a little bit of that, just hearing you talk about it and seeing your transformation, but not just physically, Tayler. Like, your mental is one of the things that captivated me about this process for you. Absolutely. And in particular, thinking about your regimen.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy. And
rice cakes with nothing.
Very strict.
Rice cakes with teeth.
Strict. And you learn to love it. I think there's something to be said about the mental side of it because everyone thinks bodybuilding, physical, straight off the bat. Like, that's what it is. It is like, for me, it was maybe 40, maybe 50% physical. The rest of it is just straight mental. You gotta be some crazy sort, maybe a little bit crazy, mentally tough to have this diet, that you've got to go on every single day. Every single day, you eat the same thing. every single day. And you got people, well, I can't do that. I don't eat leftovers. So I'm like, well, you're out. So I mean, don't worry. But that everyone's got an excuse. And when you throw those excuses in the garbage, it is crazy to see what life can bring you. Because excuses are a choice. I mean, you could choose to say whatever excuse you want to whatever. The day that you stop making excuses and you just do it, it's really the day. I don't think my life has changed yet, but I think it's about to. I think it's getting there. I think this was a stepping stone to whatever is next for me. It was a starting point. I think it has fueled a fire. I found, it was just like a little spark of what could be. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's something. Don't know what it is yet, but I'm figuring it out.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Dang, Tayler, like how do I follow that? Like I had a question, I just lost it.
It'll come back.
Like, I don't know if they're connected, but like I just see this symmetry between that and your business, the tenacity that you're coming at it with. I mean, Tayler, we can talk about it. Like you got a billboard up as we speak.
They're absolutely connected. I mean, absolutely. They go hand in hand, and it is just everything, and it's the discipline, really. The discipline and no excuses. It just rolls right into business because, like I said, I live, eat, and breathe it. So I'm at the gym. I'm answering calls at the gym, right in the middle of my deadlift. I'm texting. They go hand in hand. It's the consistency, the discipline. It's the little small things that you do every single day that add up, that compound, which, we all know this, but it's easier said than done. Taking that into my business and doing what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. I did it with my prep. I said I was going to do it. I did it, I come home with the trophy now in real estate. I'm like, I got to do what I say I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to call this person today, I'm going to call the person today. If I say that, I'm going to write this down or I'm going to stop and I'm going to do this or I'm going to knock on this door, if you don't do what you say you're going to do and you lie to yourself, that alters your brain, because then your brain's like, well, they don't follow up. You've got to do what you tell yourself you're going to do, or I think that's where a lot of self-respect comes from too.
That's so good.
Yeah, but it is my business with the routine and everything that I was on. It took over my business. So having that strict 5 a.m. wake-up call, go straight to the gym, get my stuff out of the way, it just flowed right into my business. And then every day I've had this routine, and I've stuck with it, and the confidence also, it's killer. And
you weren't short on that.
Taking a leap of faith, putting that billboard up, doing things I said I was going to do. Not the planner from this year. I have a planner, I write everything down in it. I need to give me a fancy, remarkable. I just got some paper planner.
You said it, not me.
Well, so it wasn't this year's, I don't think. I might be lying. It might be this year's. It was either this year's planner starting in 2025 or starting in 2024. Whatever the case, I write down in the front, it's got, what I'm going to accomplish this year. And every year I write down my number, and I write down something personal. I write down production goal. I write down just a few things. And last year, get married on the beach, just some things. One of those things was get a billboard. And I believe it was in 2024. So I'm like, I got to do what I say I'm going to do. It was a year late, but better late than never. I got to do what I say I'm going to do. So I am so proud of myself for putting that thing up, because it's something I've wanted for 8 years. And doing it gives me a huge sense of pride.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tayler, talk to me about the days that you didn't want to prep. You didn't want to do an hour of cardio to start out the day, knowing you had, 2 more workouts the same day. Tell me about the mind space that you were in, and tell me how you overcame those thoughts.
It's dark. I mean, some days you're just climbing out of this hole. I mean, just every day. It's just mental toughness, really, is what it is. It's the routine. It's the habits. Because your motivation, oh God, there was a quote somewhere. I loved it so much. Something about motivation is like just a spark. That's all. Like, because you wake up one day and you're like, oh, and you have like an hour or two or a day, you know, and you're so motivated. And then you're like, I don't know what happened. I was feeling so good 2 weeks ago. It's motivation is only a spark because it ain't never going to stick around. It's just not. It's going to ebb and flow. So motivation is a spark, and then the routine and the habit is kind of the engine that keeps all that stuff going. So 6 months, you know, it'd have been 4 months, I guess, of a routine then, and the 5 a.m. hour of cardio was coming in. It was wild, especially when it's cold. You don't want to get up. It's the last thing you want to do. You want to stay in the bed, you know. It goes into consistency. My body was in the routine of just springing right up, putting the clothes on, going straight to the gym. If you could just get yourself there and take the first step, and it sounds so corny, and take the first step on that treadmill, it gets easier. If you can just mute your mind, because it lies.
Oof. Yes.
It lies. And you have to rely on the schedule and the consistency you built, because if you're not relying on that, then you're going to take an L for the day.
Okay. Have you heard at least an iteration of the quote, "The path to success is boring"?
Wow. No.
Gosh. Like, that's something I heard and I wrote it down. But, like, when I hear you say this, the thought of getting up every morning and doing an hour of cardio, boring.
It's terrible.
But look at the results.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But, you know, it just starting or just getting there, you know, just getting out of the bed, dressed, and to the gym was the worst part every morning, because your brain, you know, stay in the bed, you know, or do blah, blah, blah. If you will just, I don't know how, you just don't listen to it. You just got to overcome it somehow. There's always got to be a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just told you a little bit ago, a goal is a huge deal for me. Having a goal, looking at it, sticking with it. Now, like right now, I don't have another show date yet. So in the mornings when I wake up, I'm not going, I got to get up. My show's in 3 weeks. You know, I've got to do this. I think I told myself a lot, like, you got to do this. First of all, you paid all the money, and it's been 5 months worth of this. Like, you got 2 weeks. Like, you have to do this.
Why stop now?
Yeah, I would tell myself, like, I have to do this, and I did. I mean, I didn't have to, but I did. So now there's no show date. You know, the goal is kind of, we call it reverse dieting, because it was so strenuous. We kind of have to reverse out of it. So that's the goal right now. And it's very lax, and it's very just, hey, rest, because you were doing an hour of cardio for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago. So let your body rest a little bit, you know, and enjoy some time. So there's not really a huge goal right now, which is a little bit of a problem in the mornings. I'm definitely staying in the bed 30 minutes later and stuff like that, because I'm like, I don't have a goal.
Yeah. Yet. Right.
I will have another one. And okay. I'm trying to relax and enjoy this period of time. But
do you ever reflect?
Absolutely.
Okay. What does that do for you? And I'm asking that selfishly because I don't do it enough.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like a lot of the time, I feel like daily I do. I feel like I'm very hard on myself.
We have that in common.
Yeah, like all the time. And if I do, I sit down and I'm like, dang, you know, and it's something so minor. That's not usually a big deal. And I'm like, I cannot believe I've done that. Can't believe I had that extra piece of Dove chocolate. It's going to kill me, you know. It's just little stuff. And even in my business, you know, if I don't do what I say I was going to do, I'm so hard on myself that it's typically not worth it.
Yeah.
Just do what you say you're going to do.
It's that simple. Yeah. And boundaries, Tayler? Oh my gosh, that's a whole other podcast episode. But the thing about you, Tayler, you will set and establish those.
Absolutely.
And like when you do that, I'm like, man, I need an ounce of that.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Everyone says that, you know, and when we have the exercises at the office, and they say, what trait would you take from someone, or who would you want to be like? Or when we have those exercises.
I remember that, yeah.
And everyone always says they wish they had an ounce of whatever that is. And they always say whatever that is. And I think that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably think about where that comes from. But when I reflect, I wish I could have less of it. Is that not crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah. And this was very recently, a few days ago, I was having a moment and I thought, man, I wish I could have just a little bit less of that. And it keeps me, it's who I am, but I do wish I could be a little bit softer sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just always so hard and rigid and strict and boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wish I could just kind of let something go every now and again.
I think it's great.
But,
because and I guess it's different for me because I never take that personal.
Yeah.
I look at it like okay, well, this woman has something she wants to accomplish. Here's what's happening, here's what's not happening.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. People's feelings get involved sometimes. I wish I could be a little bit softer, but
yeah, I got you. Last question about your bodybuilding journey. One of the terms I hear resonating when I hear you talk about it is sacrifice.
Yeah. It changed a lot. As far as my social life goes, my friends go. Once you have to take a step back like I did, you start looking at things in a different light, really. We have groups of friends. We go out, we do stuff all the time. And when you're on prep, you can still go and do the things. It's not that you have to miss out, but for me, some of the times just being so exhausted from the gym, and a lot of the times when I would go, all our friends, we're sitting around. We might be having a drink. They might be eating something while I'm just hanging out. We'd be at a restaurant. Everyone gets to order food, and I would sit there and I would watch every single person at the table eat their food and drink their drink. And it was okay because I was so locked in that I didn't want it. But it just became so not fun. I was like, this is just not fun for me. It's because everyone's on the same level over here, and then it's just kind of like, and it's almost kind of like I'm getting ignored, really, because they're like, you're not eating, But taking a step back from all that and really, I think I really did pour into myself because it was a lot of staying home, not going to some events. And if you did go to an event, kind of staying in the back, you didn't get to get in and get the plate and do everything everyone else did. And just, I think a lot of that made me realize, and you find out who your friends are too.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. You find out, who's kind of just there for convenience or, a good time or a dinner or a night out or just somebody to do something with. And when you cut all that out completely and you're at home, you're meal prepping, I'm cooking every night, I'm going to the gym. There's not a lot of time in my schedule for like anything else in that 6 months. So it's getting really dialed down. The people that really want to be around me are having to make extra accommodations, to come see me or do something different and not eat and figure out a way around it. And the people that are not really in your corner, they weed out so quick because it's not convenient for them. And friendships change because, like I said, I don't have time to go and do and all the things, but you find out who's in your corner.
Okay. You made me think of we were at game day for an office thing, and you ate the most pitiful salad that I think I've ever seen.
I had to leave that day.
That was the second day.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the first time. Okay. And I remember watching you. Like, I don't even think you finished it. Mm-mm. And I think you took the tomatoes off. Yeah. Like,
that was right before I started all this.
So you weren't even locked in yet.
No, that was right before I started. And I said, y'all, when I start this for real, I'll have to bring literally a grilled chicken breast to game day. And I'm like, and that was when I was like, am I going to be able to do this? Because I'm sitting at this table that was when the Hunt mortgage lady, I think that was that day. Yeah.
Yeah, she was there. Like, she was there.
Or am I going to be able to do this? Because I'm going to have a grilled chicken breast and a plate that's been in my car since I left the house, and I'm just going to plop it down and eat it out of this. I remember, am I going to be able to do this? Because everyone's going to think you're weird. But secondly, it's willpower.
Yes.
It's crazy. And then seeing everyone else get crazy fries or whatever else, drinks, that's a huge deal. So, yeah, but that was the day that I was trying to figure out if I'd be able to do it or not. I ended up pulling the trigger and doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Man, okay. All right, Tayler, as we wrap, another key element of this podcast that I like to talk about is just the faith element of what you're chasing professionally and or personal. And I know as I'm in this phase of life, like my faith has been fortified and it's uncomfortable, but I'm having to really believe in a lot of things that I can't see.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm having to really, really dial in to myself and just release a lot of stuff with the promise of it will work out.
Right.
Even when I'm having negative self-talk, even when I tell myself I'm not enough,
Right.
I got to still focus on the bigger picture. It's still going to work out though. I want you to talk to me in your own words about the component of faith, whether it be personal or professional, and how that impacts you.
Well, I'm so glad you brought it up because that is almost the third leg of what this prep has brought to me. I think maybe that's why I keep saying it's so life-changing, is because how much my faith has grown in the last 6 months. Also, I truly feel like I have just been awakened, or my eyes have been opened or something. It's really incredible. All aspects of my life. I'm serious. It has changed. When I started this, it was in the summer. So I would get up in the morning and I would go walk the neighborhood trail in the mornings. It would be so quiet. The sun would be rising. You can only hear the birds. I was the only person out there. So in little baby step increments, I would start listening to, some worship music. I'm in love with the rap worship now. I mean, I am. It's all that plays now. It's just so weird. It's just the only thing that plays in my whole house. I was out there and it would just be me, and I'm a self-reflector. I'm not a call and talk to you on the phone person, and no one's up at 5:30 a.m. or whatever time it was.
There's one person.
Well,
there's one maniac.
So I found myself, talking to the Lord a lot every single morning. And it wasn't something I've done frequently. Been in church my whole life, but it's just kind of been lukewarm, of course. And it just really, he was the only person I would be talking to in the mornings. And my days, I would feel so much better and I would feel so much more fulfilled. And I think I've told my friend this maybe, but I don't even know if I've told my husband. I would be walking in the mornings. And some mornings I would just feel so convicted or whatever it was. I would just start bawling on my walks. And I loved it. The way I would cry and I would just, I would talk to him and I would start listening. It was just baby steps and it just kept getting more intense and more intense. And I just fell right back into it to the point where I was just literally on fire. And I think I shared that with Harley, and she, we just are so excited about it. But
shout out to Harley too, by the way.
I'm telling you,
my girl. Anyway, but go ahead.
I'm telling you, bought me my first Bible. I mean,
okay.
She's just you gotta have. I actually have a notes app in my phone of everything that prep has taught me. Every time I would learn something about myself, I'd jot it down on my notes app. I've learned to love the grocery store. Little stuff like that because I'm in that grocery store every day. It taught me to talk to the Lord because I didn't have a good grasp on that. That was something that always got put on the back burner. You would go to church on Sunday, but you wouldn't really go to church on Sunday. It was my favorite thing to do. When summer started to wrap up and it started to get cold outside, I started to get so worried because I thought, where's my time? Where's going to be my time with him? What am I going to do? That was my favorite part of the day is getting, and I mean, I'm telling you, when I would just, the entire time, I wouldn't even play music sometimes. I wouldn't even take my headphones the whole time, and I would be running. I would just be talking to him the whole time, and that it really transitioned my faith for me. yet again, that's going to pour into real estate. Having faith that it will work out when it's meant to work out, and what it's going to be, you know. So it definitely, all aspects of your life, they kind of flow together, regardless of if you try to or not. But having faith that the Lord's not going to let me starve when I think something bad's going to happen. Just relying on Him. I've learned, me and Tayler Murphy both have picked up really great habits that started this summer. It's crazy. The physical, the mental, and then my faith that's come out of this. It's been nuts.
Oof, man. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Tayler, last question for you. What's next for you?
I have goal planning tomorrow, so I'm so excited for that. I mean, I have so many ideas. The sky's the limit, you know, and we talked about that, I think a little bit yesterday. We've got to start setting some big goals. We got to start setting some bigger goals. That's all there is to it. We really need to sit down this December and figure out what's for us in the new year. I think, obviously more production. That's always going to be one of my goals. And, I come up a little shy of my huge goal I set for myself this year. It was like maybe triple of what I had done last year. It was shooting for the stars, literally.
Right.
I came up a little shy of it. So probably increasing that next year. Let me hit double-digit millions. Let me do 10 million. Let me say it now. Let me write that check to myself right now.
Okay. I see what you did there. Yeah.
10 million in sales next year. Staying consistent. Doing what I say I'm going to do. Putting some money back into my business, keeping consistent with a billboard. As far as real estate goes, hopefully get another show on the books. That call's also tomorrow. Just trying to figure out where that's going to go to. I fell in love with the process of prep.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. Now, I've been feeling just a little lost, just a little bit. I'm getting back with it. But
you told me that yesterday.
Yeah, I love the process so much. It just makes you, the confidence that comes from doing what you say you're going to do and following through with the prep, because you know that not a lot of people can do that. Because if they could, everyone would do it.
Right.
Following the diet, following everything, just the extreme lengths that you have to go to do it. And once you do it, it gives you so much confidence. The confidence is what's turning everything around. So maybe another show on the book. My husband wants me to do, he wants me to get an IFBB Pro card. So that's the International Federation of Bodybuilders.
Okay.
They would present you with a pro card. So at what point I would be a pro bodybuilder.
Okay.
I'm qualified to do a national show. So I don't know if I'll go that far, but he thinks it would be a very cool thing to put on my resume.
Well, and let's talk about how much of a blessing that is to have that type of support from your husband.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's my biggest
I'm crazy
fan.
About your husband.
I know. You can't not be. I know. I know. I give him his shade, but he's a trooper, man.
I didn't tell you this, but that day we went and shot that video.
Yeah.
I had to get these.
He is. He's a good move.
He's a solid dude, just like from the jump. So anyway, yeah.
He's awesome. He goes through a lot, but he is my biggest. Just whatever I need, whenever I need it, he truly is my biggest fan. He's always just, whatever it's gonna take.
Okay. Well, I lied, Tayler. I got one more thing I want to ask you. So one of the things I shared with you yesterday when we talked was like, I don't feel like I know how to dream big enough.
Yeah.
You clearly, I'm not gonna say you mastered it, but you know how to. What advice would you give me?
I think I think once you get more confidence, I think it's gonna roll a little bit more natural. But your self-worth, it's so high to me. I just wish you knew how other people felt about you. You don't put that on yourself. You don't. And you never have. You didn't tell people about the podcast for 7 years. Come on. You're that dude. And you don't, once you start realizing that you're that dude, I think you'll know that you're that dude that can set these goals. you got to want more. And I think you do.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's getting you to realize that you're that dude. Because I don't think that you tell
I don't know if
yourself
I would ever say it like that.
you are. I mean, I hate to tell you, but you are. So, I just think it's a goal to set for. And once you set that goal and once you hit it, the feeling it gives you, it's unmatched. You'll be crazy about setting goals.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think blow it out of the water your first time, but something hard but attainable with really hard work. Like I said, the sense of pride, you're going to be setting the biggest goals ever because you know you can do it. And I think what we touched on yesterday is no one sets goals for themselves truly. They really don't. Half the population, no one's got a goal. They're just living life. They're getting through day by day, like I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this. They don't have any goals, nothing to look for. I think that is key.
Okay.
Is what I'm finding out is always have something you're working toward. Because if you're not working towards something to be 1% better every single day, and if that's your goal, be 1% better every day, that's still a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. You made me think of something. I had an impromptu meeting with a client of mine recently, and we're building this video-driven campaign to help raise money for the nonprofit. And so I went in there and I showed her a couple of videos I've been working on, and I think I told you a little bit about this, but when I saw them, I was like, telling you, this is only 2 out of the 4, but these are we're going. Yeah. And so I remember before I walked out, I looked at her and I said, look, because I think that their goal was like 40K for this campaign. I was like, we're not going to get 40K. And she's like, you don't think so? I was like, no, there's no way. She's like, well, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know, but we're going to get at least 45. And it's just like that. I didn't realize it till you said it, but I just came up with the goal right then and there. I was confident in it. Yeah. I know that together, me working with them on this campaign, we're definitely getting 45. We are. And there's no alternative.
I know that you will.
Well, thank you. But me walking in that was something I didn't see that coming. That's not normally how I would take something like that. But it was just hold on, no, hold on. I showed shades of that. I showed a flash of that. And I walked out there really believing it. Yeah. So now hearing you say that, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this campaign. I know exactly how I'm going to craft everything. And I'm not stopping until it's 4 or 5 comma.
You're confident in it.
You know what I mean?
You're pouring into someone else.
I know, but I need that for Ronnie.
You're not pouring into yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could pour it all over everybody else. But when it comes to yourself, what goal am I going to set for yourself? Pour into yourself. I think that's the biggest picture with you.
Yeah.
But you've come a very long way. So
Thank you.
I'm so excited to see next year because I think this was a big transitional year for you.
No, we're not doing that. Why wait till next year? You remember what you told me? Why wait till next year?
You shouldn't. But everything that's going to come next year, I think, is going to be a lot bigger than what you expect.
Gotcha. Thank you. Tayler, I can't thank you enough for making the time, but I can't thank you enough for just being a for real friend, straight up. And you've seen times where I have not believed in myself. You've heard my negative self-talk, and I know you've wanted to fight me.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I know you've wanted to put hands on me for real.
I'll tell you too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. And I was telling Tabitha, I was like, Tayler doesn't hold back. I know you care. So we've established that. So since that's established, you're free to say what it is. And I just don't have that with a lot of people. So I want you to know that I value that. And I appreciate you being in my corner, and great things ahead. And I'm not saying even wait on next year. Great things going to happen in the next minute.
I love it. I know they will, though, because
Thank you.
I've watched it. I've watched your growth, and you're just going to continue to grow from here.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
I'm excited.
Yes. Well, thank y'all for listening. I don't know who I'm going to have next on this thing, but I'm grateful and thankful for the moment now. And I'm supposed to say subscribe and all that stuff. I don't care. I'm just glad you watched it. Y'all check out the next one. Thank you.